maybe it's a lesser rider fee that's being charged to you annually. Maybe you're going to get a better carrier rating by just taking $100 less a year in income. You can get a better deal with a better carrier. So it's all going to come down to what you find to be the most important, but we can help you with a high degree of confidence make a better decision, and that's without a doubt.
Yeah, and there are certain features, something like the enhanced benefit for long-term care, which may be valuable in some situations and may not be. So while some companies may offer it, depending upon the time at which the income is starting, it may or may not be really feasible to consider in that thought process.
Yeah, so just a quick overview. If we were in a meeting, let's say with a prospective client, the first thing we would do is plug in everything here. It's going to rank them according to this green number, which is the highest contractually guaranteed annual income. We can also look at it monthly. And then we're going to take you through the 5 points. 5 points being income, carrier rating, which is located here left of the carrier name, index return potential on the account value, which is your liquidity, it's your death benefit in the future. That account value can be sustained longer if you have higher index return potential. We're going to look at the rider fee, which is charged annually. And then whether or not it has, the specific annuity product has an enhanced income benefit for those long-term care events in the future. And based on what comes up, we're going to go through those 5 elements and then try to determine, is this still the best option? Or maybe we go with a little bit less on the income, but we get other features that are more important to us. So that would be the quick rundown of what meeting with us would look like. And it's, really going to give you a lot of value in understanding how to assess the marketplace to ultimately make a confident and educated decision.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
Anything else that you wanted to add on the income, the multi-point inspection for income?
No, I think we covered it all there, man.
Yeah. So I would call that step 3A, and maybe we move to step 3B, which would be really that multi-point inspection for growth.
Yeah.
So we start looking at how we can use a fixed index annuity for income. We've got our inspection points there for that designated purpose. We look at the next, which would be for the main purpose of growth. When somebody may say, well, these are a lot of steps to go through. The only thing I would say is when we're looking through these processes and we're working with an advisor, if we were to compare that to buying a home, real estate agent takes us out to go check out a home. We're not just going to take their word and say, yeah, this is the home that I should buy. You're going to walk through it, take a look at it yourself, determine if it's of value to you. Do these check off my key points of interest? Not only that, I'm going to go and I'm going to have an inspection done on the home. My real estate agent's not going to get up on a ladder and crawl through the attic. I want a professional to do that. I want somebody who knows what they're looking for to do that. So the reason we put these pieces in place is so that we can really define an individual's need for their specific criteria. So I realize that we go through a lot here, but there's a reason for it.
Yeah, and it's ultimately to help people make better decisions, right?
That's it. So going to growth, we'll run through our checklist here of how we'll use inspection. And that would be, again, in no specific order. It'll be dependent upon that individual and their needs. Index return potential. And that would be a look at both back-tested over the last 10-year average and real return since inception. And I think we've brought that up before in the podcast, in that we're not just looking at the last 10-year average. We want to consider whether it be year to date, the most recent year, the most recent 3 years. Secondly would be the carrier rating. Again, we bring that up. Third, the index options and how we diversify those index options, how we do that crediting strategy. Number 4 would be the free withdrawal provision and surrender charges. So is it important that you have the accessibility to withdrawals, and at what point? Number 5 being something that we've talked about, and we're actually diving into more recently about this, in coming up with this plan was the renewal rate integrity and the lock-in options for those specific indexes within the annuity.
Yeah, those are so critical to making a sound decision when it comes to the growth side of the annuity marketplace, is really evaluating those 5 points and honing in on a couple of those in particular that are unique in comparison to the income play or income side. Number 5, you touched on the renewal rate integrity and lock-in options. The lock-ins referencing, does the index crediting strategy have the ability to lock the performance at any point in that crediting term? This is something that is somewhat new in the marketplace or in the industry. Within the last, I'd say, 5 years, there's been more carrier adoption of offering these features. The lock-in is really essential to helping someone have some sort of control during the 1 year or 2 year or even multi-year crediting periods, so that if there is waves of volatility or you have some sort of market sentiment that the market might be declining, you have the ability to lock in the gains that you have up to that point, and that's what will be credited to your contract upon that next contract anniversary. It's a very valuable feature. I love it. I know with this recent wave of volatility, I emailed my clients that have products with the lock-in feature and said, hey, I know that there's some volatility right now, and we have a fair gain in the contract that you might want to secure. So you have the ability to lock it. Would you like to do that? And if they say yes, it's a simple form. We go in and knock that out. So that's really critical to making a good decision, is do these annuities you're looking at have those features? And then when it comes to that renewal rate stuff, that's regarding the actual crediting rates, so participation rates, caps and or spreads. You want to make sure that the carrier you're working with has sound renewal rate integrity. In other words, they're not changing the rates constantly year to year, which they do have the right to do. You need to make sure the company you're working with has sound renewal rate integrity. And one way that you can find out if they do or not, because not all companies publish their renewal rate history, which is, in my opinion, garbage. But there are companies that do, and you need to make sure you're working with a company that does publish it and has some factual data to support that they have sound renewal rate integrity. So, I can't stress these things enough. The other thing is the back tested and real time returns.